Here we are live at the park.
What's up, everybody?
Doug Fisher, you got a different Ali one on the ring cover, super rare collection. Showtime Boxing. That was
the survivors. They're still here.
They're still there, yeah.
HBO gone but not forgotten, but they're not here right now.
Showtime is still
Showtime
around.
is still at it, man.
And we just had a Fox show yesterday.
Yep.
We're here with Coach Dave. It's a little.
HBO, I was just thinking about old guys. Like we were talking about Bob Arum.
Yeah.
Who's sharp. But the other guy who's sharp is Larry Merchant.
Oh, yeah.
So
Larry was always sharp, yeah.
Larry Merchant and Bob Arum were both born in Brooklyn the same year.
Really?
1931.
All right.
And Larry Merchant played football under Bud Wilkinson. He's a real famous player.
And that was college, right? Wow.
So
he said he was like a third stringer.
Yeah, but still.
He's a walk.
There you go.
we missed last week. You were at the Thompson Boxing Show, and I just got back from the Triple G fight in Florida.
And how was Florida? 1 week in Florida, Tom?
Florida was it's like night and day. LA is closed, and someone said something about we're wearing masks outdoors. It's the law out here, in LA. But Florida, you also have to wear masks, but everything is open. The restaurants are open. Everything's open. Casinos open. Yeah, indoor restaurants just at a limited capacity. Yeah, it's like night and day. It's like actually like regular life out there. And then we saw with the Canelo fight in Texas, that's open too as far as...
Let me ask you this. How come they couldn't have fans at the Golovkin fight then?
Florida, you could have fans, but I think that it was postponed so many times that they just wanted to get it done. And so we had the bubble, and they didn't want to take any chances of having...
Hey, Tom, let me ask you. It doesn't look like being in the bubble, being in Florida for as long as Triple G was, and being in the bubble for that fight week at least, didn't seem to affect Triple G's conditioning. He looked great.
No, he looked very good.
Reflexes were sharp for at least the first 4 rounds.
Credit to Soldier 7078 he's from the UK. He's wishing us a Merry Christmas. No, Triple G looked very good. Credit to Jonathan Banks.
Yeah.
It was his third fight with JB, but also he has a personal chef, James Lockwood, did a very good job, and also Chris Camacho, strength and conditioning. So they did
Chris Camacho, was the strength and conditioning?
He's trained some of the guys over at Churchill over here. Yeah.
Well, his body looked great. He was sharp. I can see the things that Banks has been working with him on. It's finally come to fruition with the head movement, with the punch variety. The accuracy, the timing, it looked good. It looked sharp.
It looked lighter on his feet.
Looked a little bit lighter on his feet.
And you can tell, Samir's watching. Yeah, so Camacho.
Samir, happy holidays.
Camacho's also worked with some UFC guys like Daniel Cormier and some of the bigger name UFC guys. Yeah. So he looked very good, and compared to they were putting up comparison pictures from last year where he was sick for both those. New York fights, the Devenchenko fight and the Rolls fight, and here he was in Big Bear for most of the time. Then the last 3 weeks he went down to Florida, and he really liked it out there. He actually trained because Jonathan Banks was very familiar. Vladimir had a place in Florida, and he trained at that gym. That Triple G trained at, so he was very familiar with the whole area. It's right by the casino there, so it was actually a pretty good setup for him to go to Florida and finish training up there.
Awesome.
And that was his record 21st title defense.
That's triggered some people on Twitter, but Twitter is for triggered individuals.
Triple G standards and then regular standards.
Let me get your thoughts on the next day. We had Canelo Alvarez against Callum Smith.
Yeah. In
a Ring Magazine WBA WBC super middleweight title bout. What are your thoughts?
I think Canelo's coming into his prime right now. I think he learned a lot. Naturally, he learned a lot from the Mayweather fight, but I think he learned more from the Triple G fights.
24 rounds with Triple G.
24 rounds. I thought he definitely lost the first fight, but he got better the second fight, and I thought the second fight could have easily been a draw. But that's a whole different discussion. But getting to Canelo and Callum Smith, Canelo does good against those tall, bigger guys that are slower, and he gets in underneath and he's faster, and so you got to give him credit.
And he was able to beat
the taller guy with
the jab.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I was thinking about the first fight, Triple G and Canelo.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if you could sit down with Don Trella and watch
The seventh round.
Hey, did you know Trella had a terrible scorecard this past weekend?
Horrible.
On that Emmanuel Rodriguez,
Another bad
Raymar
one.
Caballo fight?
Oh, I didn't see that.
But seriously, if you could sit down with Trella and watch that seventh round
never do
and
it.
have him explain it to you.
Never happened. Never happened. That's like getting somebody who robbed a bank to go back to the bank.
So here's the Triple G mask, and this was the shirt that they made for 21
awesome.
title defenses. Triple G. It actually has, it's like a tour shirt on the back where it has all the different locations and everything like that. So he looked great, and someone was asking me how he feels at this stage of his career, and he feels great. There's a reason, Doug, that Canelo fought both Kovalev and Callum Smith, arguably two bigger guys, heavier guys, because he knows they're easier, even they're bigger, easier style for Canelo. But
against those 6'4", 6'5" heavyweights in the 80s.
You gotta give.
He loved it.
You gotta give Canelo credit, and
I thought Canelo looked incredibly good.
he looked very good.
Interesting to watch. He was fun.
Yeah.
And if he was going to fight 4 times this year,
We'll see. We'll
hope
see.
that happens.
He'll do that.
I'll believe that when I see it. But if he comes back in February against that WBC mandatory,
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
I agree with that. Get the mandatory out of the way,
Come back
even if
right
it's
away.
not, it's not a big payday. That's what we were doing with Triple G,
Right.
bringing him up. He was fighting 3 times, 4 times a year. He was the
That's
most
important.
active champion at that time,
It's good for boxing.
at that level, and
good for boxing, Tom.
he
You
definitely built a career.
He's not with Oscar anymore. I think freed his brain a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell. On both sides.
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides. They're kind of
Good
like
for everyone just to get it over with.
There was a lot of tension there when we were doing the Triple G Canelo fights. It's like
man.
now you're fighting Triple G, fighting Canelo, Golden Boy, Athletic Commission, Nevada. It's like fighting
A lot
everybody.
of tension, yeah.
A lot of tension in those fights, but
So what do you think the Munguia Triple G fight might be?
I think that's a great fight. I think that would have been a great fight when Canelo tested positive. I have a question for you, Doug. Do you know how many steaks you have to eat to test positive for clenbuterol?
What was that?
How many steaks do you have to eat?
How many steaks
Test
you have
positive.
to eat? I don't know.
Just wondering.
I don't know. Well, listen, VADA is very good. They're the best at what they do.
They're very
If you have
minuscule.
a trace of anything banned, it's going to come out
Yep.
in your test sample.
I don't know. That never really came out. That was like one of the questions we had from the Nevada Commission. That never really came out. But now they've apparently raised the standard to, it was a pretty small amount. So
Yeah.
whatever the standard is now is less than
Let me ask
what he
you
tested
this, how
positive for.
secure is Bob Bennett's job there?
Seems
Who's
like
in charge?
seems
He
like they're
seems
happy with him.
entrenched to me.
Yeah, he seems pretty
Seems
entrenched. in it.
entrenched in that political system.
I never had a problem with Bob Bennett until it came to the hand wraps, where things seemed to change with the
Yeah,
rules there.
There's different standards.
And then
And I noticed the weigh-in for the rematch, Triple G was only allowed to have like
Yeah.
5
Well, that was
people
another
up
thing.
on stage.
Yeah.
And Canelo literally walked out with like
with
40
the whole
people.
right.
And it was fun.
We had it all rehearsed. It was each
crazy.
side was supposed to get like 12 people, and like you said, or maybe even more than that. But they only let 5 people, but then we got it fixed. But Canelo had like 25 people up on stage. It was nuts.
And then he started wiling out. Coach thought that the magnitude of the event had gotten to him because he was acting out of character about rushing forward head first into Triple G.
No, I thought, it was all
Oh, you mean at the weigh-in?
I was so wrong.
He
Yeah.
backed it up, man.
No, but he fought a lot better in the
you're
second
right,
fight.
Tom. He came into his own in those 2 fights.
Yep.
It's like he found himself, like he was still looking for his confidence to really be a middleweight in the first fight with Triple G. And in the second fight, he fought like, okay, I'm a middleweight. I believe in my power. I don't have to go to the ropes. I don't have to run around the ring.
Right.
I can stand my ground, and that's why that rematch to me is a classic fight.
But a lot of
great fight.
I think it's a great fight. It's like a chess match, a very high IQ. I still think Triple G 7'5" or
Yeah, that's
6'6", but
Totally fair.
Canelo did fight a lot better, but a lot of people forget that Canelo did vacate the title in order not to fight Triple G
In
year
2016.
in 2016. So there was a reason.
He was stripped of the Ring Magazine title going into the ring.
There was
the
a
ring.
reason for that,
Yeah,
but
he's matured a lot.
Totally.
he's at the top of his game right
He
now.
is.
Canelo, you got to appreciate that,
I
and
think he's arguably number one pound for pound.
You can make
I
that
don't have a
argument
problem
for
with
sure.
him being
Yeah.
number one pound for pound.
And also Eddie Reynoso is running a good program down there. You got Ryan Garcia has his fight coming up with Luke Campbell.
That's January 2nd.
Yeah.
Coach, real quickly, what's your prediction on that?
I like Garcia.
You like Garcia? Okay.
And I
I'm
like
leaning
him
towards the kid too, and I'm thinking maybe he gets Campbell out of there in the early rounds.
I'm leaning towards Garcia also in that fight. And then we had then Ali Akhmedov had a tough fight on the Triple G show.
That's a fight of the year candidate.
Fought a guy that nobody
an
wanted to
upset
fight.
of the year candidate.
He fought a southpaw guy on short notice, and Gongora, a guy that nobody really wanted to fight.
Well,
and
Can
Gongora.
I say this? Anybody who gives Carlos Gongora a full camp, any super middleweight's going to have trouble with that dude. He can take a shot.
He's a tough dude.
He's a southpaw.
Yeah.
He paces himself really well. That dude can fight.
Ali was definitely winning. He was winning like 8 out of the 11 rounds going into the 12th, but you could tell Gongora was fighting in that style, very conservative energy, waiting kind of. Nobody predicted that 12th round knockout, but
Ali would have beat a lot of guys.
Yeah.
The effort he put forth in just the first 6 rounds.
I think Ali is
I would
a
have
top.
loved to see Ali fight John Ryder, who was on the same card.
We tried to make that fight. But Eddie wouldn't make that fight.
Did you notice the opponent of John
Ryder?
Ryder?
Yeah.
Guy? We know him.
That's Ali fought at the Hollywood Fight Nights. Yeah, at the Avalon. Yeah.
That's true.
So are they gonna have a rematch? The Ali?
It looks that way. Yeah, looks like we'll do a rematch. It'll be a great match.
Cecilia. Is she gonna have a rematch?
Cecilia Brækhus, yeah. So the update on Cecilia Brækhus, the rematch is scheduled to happen. It's going to be either late February or middle of March.
What if they added that fight to the Chocolatito Estrada rematch?
That's a potential. That's a potential show. So that's March 13th. Chocolatito and Estrada, who
that's the fight of the year now, as far as I'm concerned.
That's a great fight. I was happy to do those Superfly shows where we put some spotlight on that. On those smaller divisions. With the regular training camp, there was a lot of things going on with that training camp. Any COVID situation and bubble situation where you can't go outside, you can't do your regular training, you can't eat your regular food is really challenging.
Stay in the same place for 8 months or whatever.
Hey Tom, speaking of Superfly, what are your thoughts on the
Ioka Tanaka fight? You know what? That's a very
Japanese Super Bowl of boxing.
That's a very good fight. Naturally, I'm rooting for Ioka. I work with Ioka, but it's not an easy fight with Tanaka, and it seems like in Japan, the odds are going with Tanaka, which
he's young, big.
He's a guy coming up in weight, so that's a great fight either way. We tried to do US TV. I was texting with Steve Kim. We tried to do US TV, but we couldn't get the US TV rights. But it will be shown in Mexico on ESPN Knockout. It'll be shown on Box Nation for all those UK fans. Soldier 70s, 78. It should be on Box Nation. I think China is supposed to have it.
Sure.
So there are some international territories, but we couldn't.
It is a really remarkable
It's a great fight.
Kazuto Ioka is Ring Magazine's number 3 rated 115-pounder. He's just behind the champ Estrada, Sri Saketso Rungvisai, and my main man Chocolatito.
Right.
He's a 4-division title holder. And Kosei Tanaka, in just the dozen fights that he has, he's a 3-division title holder. And he's our number 1 rated flyweight, stepping up to fight the number 3 rated super
that's
flyweight.
a top. It doesn't get much higher.
And
doesn't get much higher than that.
Ioka is a real good technician, but he's got heart and he goes to the body well. And Tanaka also is a body attacker, but he's an all-action fighter. He's been in many Fight of the Year candidates.
I have a question for you. I was just thinking about this. One of my goals when I started working with Triple G, because Felix Sturm was on top of the middleweight division, Sergio Martinez was on top of the middleweight division, and I noticed Felix Sturm, with his longevity, he had been in the top ring ratings for over 500 weeks.
Yes.
And so one of my goals, because we just got Triple G in the top 10, was okay. I'm going to do 500 weeks, and he's getting close.
He is. He's almost to 500 weeks.
But I have a question for you. So Triple G now is 38.
Yep.
He's rated because I told BoxRec, if Canelo's fighting at light heavyweight and super middleweight, why do you still have him rated as #1 middleweight when he's not fighting in that division?
Right.
So now,
if he'll ever go back down.
Now they finally rated Triple G #1 at middleweight.
Ah.
Is there any other 38-year-old current champion that you would rate at the top of their division right now?
Nobody. Manny Pacquiao's kind of close, but he's definitely behind.
He's behind Errol Spence,
and
yeah.
Crawford, yeah.
Right. And Crawford, right.
No, I can't think of anybody who's #1.
So,
I mean, the amazing thing about Golovkin, he's been in the Ring Magazine middleweight rankings for 9 years.
9 years, right? That's when I started working with him. It was 9 years ago.
December 2011.
Right. Right. That's exactly
he
when.
worked his way up, and when he entered at number 10, there were, out of the 9 fighters who were rated ahead of him, he fought 4 or 5 of them.
Right. A lot of people like to criticize.
And he wanted to fight the others, but
right.
they didn't want to fight him.
They wanted nothing to do with him.
He wanted all the smoke.
I went back and forth with Lou on Twitter a little bit about. He said that the Cotto fight was financially better, and I argue with that. I can't argue with the fact that it might have been looked at as an easier fight, Cotto moving up and being an older guy.
A bigger name.
But financially, it wouldn't have done, because Cotto was already on the downside of his popularity. I love Miguel. I like Miguel a lot, but the Triple G being the hot guy coming up, and plus his, he was the ticket prices that we were getting the high end.
HBO would have got behind that matchup.
That and for sure, and we would have sold out MSG at that time.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, that would have been for sure the top middleweight matchup.
What do you think the odds would be, Munguia and Triple G?
I think, that's Triple G standards. Triple G standards is still going to be a big favorite at 38 years old. Against a guy that's undefeated, young guy, it's still going to be a big favorite. What did you say, 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1.
I think so.
I think it's going to be higher.
You got some questions.
I have a lot of questions.
We get sidetracked.
Quickly. Anyway, so
we
I did want to talk
We can
about
ask
James
JP.
Kirkland last night.
Oh,
I was sick to my stomach. It was just like, I love that guy. I don't know, just the first knockdown. Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, the guy went like that.
I know.
I mean, the guy didn't even have to get his body into those shots.
Okay, so here's the question for Tom. James Kirkland's 4th fight
Yeah.
was in July of 2002. That's the Aladdin in Las Vegas.
The Aladdin, Las Vegas. Okay.
Who was on the leading
Ooh. Was it anyone I worked with at the Aladdin? Kevin Kelly. That was Kevin Kelly against Humberto Soto.
Ooh, that was a hell of a fight.
Tell you what.
And what was Soto's
That was, I'll tell you what, that was Top Rank trying to set us up.
They were trying to get you beat.
They were trying to get Kevin beat because Kevin, it was from the Derek Gainer fight that the rematch, they said, okay, we'll take the rematch because they really wanted the rematch. But then they said, okay, you got to put Kevin back on. And they put him back on a Top Rank show against Humberto Soto, which was not doing Kevin any favors at all.
No.
And Kevin still beat him.
Okay, so what? I got this question.
But you knew from that fight that Soto would go on to be somebody in boxing.
Didn't Layla Ali fight on that show too? Or she fought at the Aladdin, but on a different show, I think.
What's Humberto Soto's nickname?
Cobreet, isn't it?
No, it's like Little Fox, like Sly Fox.
The Little Fox.
The Little Fox.
Little Fox.
I don't know what that is in Spanish.
Yeah.
Any Spanish speakers?
La Zorita.
Yeah, La Zorita. Yeah, he was started with a Z. Zomita? Okay.
Zomita. Okay,
He
there we
is
go.
flying like a fox.
Good going, Tom. Your memory's still there.
Still there. 2002, 18 years ago. Yeah,
Time flies, huh?
yeah. That was Kevin Kelly was the first boxer that I ever worked with. Kevin Kelly and Obakar.
What year did you start?
Oh, Frankie
working with
Randall
that?
just passed away. We have to acknowledge.
rest in peace
We have to
to the
acknowledge that.
surgeon.
To the surgeon, yeah. What did you say, Doug? What year? What?
What year did you start working with Kevin?
With 1991. 1991.
Wow.
He was the
Holy
number
shit,
one.
30 years ago?
How often do you see this? He was the number 1 rated contender across the
4
board.
bouts. I remember.
It's
I
featherweight,
used to
and he
read
couldn't
Ring
get.
Magazine
He
and
couldn't get.
Boxing Illustrated, and that's where he
Couldn't
was.
get a
You were
title
like
shot.
A child star, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, you were like-
that's when I was
Yeah,
18.
kid, right?
I was like 18 years old.
It's like Russell Peltz, the Boy Wonder promoter.
Now it helped that we worked with the guy that was on your shirt right there with Ali, so that opened up a lot of doors in boxing.
I'm going to tell you. I want the nicknames of these guys, but they all fought the same guy.
Okay.
Okay. So I got to sort of do it. Trying to get it down the line here. Okay, I give you this. Okay, so this guy fought Darnell Boone. I want to know his nickname.
Darnell Boone.
The greatest gatekeeper of all time.
Oh, Darnell Boone. Didn't he fight Andre Ward?
Yeah.
You know what he said? He fought Andre Ward and he sparred with
Spars
Triple
with
G,
Triple G.
and he picked Triple G to win that fight.
That triggered
For
a
all
lot of
those
folks.
haters out there.
That made them angry.
Did I answer your question?
Do it.
The nickname,
Oh, sorry.
The nickname is Diesel.
You got it.
Diesel.
I get extra credit for that.
Okay, so
Nice.
But I call him the godfather of gatekeepers.
You got it in the first guy. Okay, how?
Andre Ward was the.
How about?
We would have
Oops.
figured this one out.
Yeah. But no, he did say that,
How about
and that was.
Gerson Ravello?
Sorry.
Yeah, I remember Gerson Ravello. He was a Dominican Olympian. Gary Gittleson managed him.
What's this?
Sorry, Gary.
Gerson, jeez. I never thought he was that good. Gerson.
I don't know that one either.
Super Jers?
Super
Are you
Jers?
kidding me?
Huh.
Okay, how about Henry Buchanan?
Sugar Poo! The greatest nickname of all
Sugar
time.
Poo. That's great.
Sugar Poo!
Oh, that's deep knowledge right there. Sugar Poo.
I mean, what was he thinking?
I don't know.
Yo, man, I'm Sugar Poo.
And
Yo.
where's he from?
Washington, D.C.?
You got it.
So these are all guys that fought Andre
You
Ward?
know how...
They all did, yeah.
Andre Ward just got it. Congratulations to Andre Ward.
Congratulations to the class of 2021.
I did not vote for Andre, and no offense to Andre. It's just it was such a stacked.
There's a lot of
first ballot
talented fighters,
appearances.
yeah.
There was Floyd Mayweather, that you guys know I'm not a fan of, but I know he's worthy of the Hall of Fame. Vladimir Klitschko, your boy.
Klitschko, yes.
Two 1996 Olympians there.
Yes.
Olympic medalists.
That's right.
There was Andre Ward. There was Tim Bradley. There was Miguel Cotto.
Cotto.
There was James Toney.
I would have voted for
who you worked
Cotto.
with.
I would have voted for Cotto and
I voted for Cotto. Thank you.
And James Toney.
There
yeah.
you go. I had James Toney and Cotto, and that took and Mayweather and Klitschko, all my votes were used
and
up.
Layla Ali. We did 2 fights
Yep.
with Layla also. Got in.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured it like this. I wrote down all of the best fighters that each guy fought.
Okay.
With James Toney and Cotto, the top 20, they're all champions. The top 20.
The who's who, yeah.
So you couldn't even, if you had a top 10, you had amazing fighters that were left out of the top 10. Like a guy like James Toney, he had all-time greats like Roy Jones Jr. and Evander Holyfield and Mike McCallum and Michael Nunn.
Michael Nunn, yeah.
If not all-time greats, then guys who are also worthy of the Hall of Fame, right? That's all his top 5.
Yep.
Under the top 5, almost out of the top 10, you got guys like Vasily Girov.
Right. That was a great fight.
From that 1996 Olympics and the Val Barker Award winner, undefeated cruiserweight champ when James Toney
Girov
fought.
was Kazakhstan, wasn't he?
Kazakhstan. That's right. The first star from Kazakhstan.
Right.
Hey, Evander
So-
Holyfield.
Right. Well, Holyfield's top 5. But my point is, you had amazing fighters who didn't even make James Toney's top 10.
Right.
Same thing with Miguel Cotto.
Right.
Just too many to fit into a top 10.
Shane Mosley and
When
Floyd.
I did a top 10 of Andre Ward, I had a great top 5. You got Kovalev, you got Kessler, you got Cratch,
Abraham.
you got Abraham and Chad Dawson.
Right. Yeah.
Top. That's
Chad Dawson coming down from 175.
true, but still the names.
Yep, those are
elite
big names. Definitely.
right?
Yep.
But then the second 5, by the time I got to number 10, I'm looking at Sugar Poo.
Sugar Poo.
I am, and I'm looking at Diesel, the gatekeeper,
Yeah.
Okay,
to
here's
fill out
another
his
one.
top 10, and that's how I figured it out. That's how I said, no, I got to go with the OGs.
I think Cotto
Now,
and Tony.
Twitter can call me
definitely,
a hater if they want, but that's how I did
No, it's
it.
good. See, it's good, Doug, when you explain, not
gotta
just
break
because
it
people
down.
think, okay, I like this fighter better, but you explain the reasoning
The
behind all that. You actually did your homework,
How
looking
about-
at the
how about
opponents.
Shelby Pudwell?
Does he have a nickname?
Shelby Pudwell?
Shelby Pudwell.
And where's he
The
from?
Pud Whacker.
Where's he from?
The Pudinator. the Pud.
I don't know.
Showtime.
Showtime?
Showtime
Okay.
Shelby?
Showtime Shelby.
Okay.
Where's he from?
Shelby, Montana.
You got it. Dakotas. He's from the Dakotas, I suppose.
Is he from the
Hey,
Dakotas?
but speaking of Showtime, Sean
Sean
Porter.
Sean Porter's great commentary.
Best
Yeah.
boxing commentator out
Every
there.
time he goes up to a different level, a higher level. Every
Oh,
time
yeah,
he
we
gets
like
better.
Sean Porter. We like Sean Porter as a fighter and as a commentator.
This is what I want to see. I want to see him be the commentator on his own fight. This guy is so good, and he gets so comfortable.
You know who did that almost one time? Kevin Kelly announced the co-feature and then fought. No, he fought and then he announced the main event.
Was that a
That's
KO
what he did.
Nation?
That was one of those HBO shows. Yeah,
One of those HBO shows.
Yeah.
Not bad.
yeah. The sun's coming out. Here's the
Now
southern
it's sunny Santa Monica.
Southern California weather report.
Okay, so Sakya.
Sakyo Bika.
Yeah,
Pika, I remember that.
Scorpion.
you got it.
That was a good win. Bika wasn't easy guy. That was
Bika's
a,
like 6 or number 7.
yeah, that was a good
Where's he
win for
from?
Andre Ward.
He's from Cameroon by way of Australia.
Exactly. Wow.
From
Fought
Soldier
everybody.
Okay.
from UK. Soldier 78 says
What's up,
he,
Soldier 78?
he thinks Carl Froch was Andre's best win.
Yeah. Not at the time, but after Froch lost to Andre Ward, he went on a string
Yeah.
and he beat
Sold out Wembley Stadium.
Lucien Boutte.
Boutte, yeah. That's another
And he
guy
beat
we tried to
Kessler
get.
in the rematch, and he had the 2 fights with George Groves.
We tried to get Boutte for Triple G. Remember he knocked out Boutte in the amateurs.
that.
Couldn't get that fight.
Okay,
Carl
so where's
Froch
Carl Froch
couldn't
in
get
there?
him in the ring.
Cobra. The Cobra.
That's right, the
Okay, how
Cobra.
about and Chad,
You know what I call him? I call him the Sheriff of Nottingham. That's where he's from.
and what's Chad Dawson's name?
Bad Chad.
Bad Chad.
Okay, how about
You know
this?
what? For a little while. he
How
was
about
there.
Edwin Rodriguez?
What was his name? Hold on, I know. It's La Bamba.
Yeah, La Bamba, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Erod makes Ward's top 10.
For all those people
I
that
did the international.
I got a piece of history for you. All the people that says that when Triple G should have fought Andre, the only window that was realistic was when Andre fought. Remember that I was out here in Ontario.
Citizens Bank.
And I told HBO that Triple G would fight Andre at 168 on that show
Yeah.
because they were paying $1 million to Edwin Rodriguez, and Triple
Yeah.
G would have taken that fight at the time. And then Andre chose Edwin Rodriguez, which
Even though he didn't make weight.
naturally was an easier fight, and
Oh,
that was the closest that they ever came to fighting each other. Because after that, then we went into the Canelo Cotto direction.
Okay, how about Arthur Abraham? What's his nickname?
King.
Arthur.
That's
Arthur.
right, King Arthur. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a little bit past his prime.
He
back
was
then.
overrated too.
Your
And I
best
overrated
one,
him
Doug,
too.
There was a reason why he stayed in
Stayed
Germany.
in Germany,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sugar Poo, that's your best.
Man, that's the
Sugar
best
Poo.
one
That was a good
ever,
one.
yeah.
That was a Christmas special.
Hey, Buchanan took Ward the distance.
Those
He
are,
wasn't a bad boxer.
that was very good.
He
Good
was
good
confident,
nicknames.
So, who,
Yeah.
do you think there's anyone else, anyone in the world that knows this shit?
I don't
Some
think so.
Real
Not
hardcore nutcase.
not those type of nicknames.
I think Bernie Barmasel.
Bernie's good, but he doesn't have that all that
This is-
in
But
depth.
Bernie did stump me on the Foreman 5, those exhibitions.
No, but this is frightening that you know this. Yeah, it really is.
All
You
right.
don't forget a nickname like Sugar Poo.
You might have a future, like
Hey, not bad, yeah.
Oh, and then also, one other fight coming up is the rescheduled, not the rematch, but the rescheduled Boachuk versus Brandon Adams fight.
So that is going to get rescheduled.
That will get rescheduled on the Ring City. Right now, we're looking at the first show of next season, which would be the end of February. So
Oh, that's excellent.
stay tuned for the official announcement from Ring City, but it looks like that'll be a much
Are they
anticipated.
going to keep it at the Wild
Now it looks
Card?
like they're moving because it's going to be cold in February, so they're
Oh.
gonna move locations. But
They did a great job in the parking
there
lot.
was a lot of anticipation for that fight, and after Brandon Adams' knockout performance, now it's going to be even more
bigger.
I have heard
anticipation.
So many people that think that's the best boxing show they've seen.
Yeah.
Including me, I think
They do a great job on the
only
production
job
there.
They didn't do is letting anyone know about it.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
is
nobody. I
The-
know
the
guys
production
who are
is very good.
hardcore boxing guys that don't know about that show.
It'll catch on though. It's on a good
Yeah,
platform.
But they gotta push it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to push the Boachuk fight, and
Yeah.
Ceballo got a good reaction. Brian Ceballo on that show. So, and Fernando Vargas Jr. made a successful pro debut down in Mexico on ESPN
How did he look?
in Mexico. He had a second round knockout. He looked good. Yeah, he looked good. He's in
Like
shape.
his old man? Does he box like his old man?
It's too early to tell.
Yeah, okay.
Fernando, I think it's hard when you put that pressure of comparing his success, but definitely in his pro debut, he looked good.
Fernando Vargas could have been a pro when he was 16 years old.
Yeah, he was very talented.
He was precocious.
Yeah,
he was
very
an amazing amateur talent. Ferocious and precocious.
Oh, I like that.
Little too ferocious for his own good. And voracious.
They matched him pretty tough early on.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody. Just a few more days before the close of a very special, very challenging year. Tumultuous year. Let's put it behind us. Let's learn from this year, and let's put that wisdom into play in 2021. Let's do it right.
All right, Dave, you're going to wish happy holidays?
Absolutely.
How should they drive? How should people drive over the holidays?
Everything. Forget, driving actually, driving is worse.
We even have a professional racetrack here. See?
The driving is definitely worse.
You see, you have to be extra vigilant.
Because, I'm in the car rental business, and I've had more accidents in the last 3 months than I've had in 3 years.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's just like people, I don't know what's going on with it.
And not too much eggnog, right?
So here's the whole secret is it's all mental. Everything's mental anyway. So you gotta be positive thinking. You gotta really love everyone. You gotta be nice to yourself, nice to everyone. And you can't panic. You just
never
panic.
Oh,
what you have to do is
never panic and always keep it positive.
What you gotta do is you gotta get the proper sleep, the proper exercise. You gotta really be positive about everything. And there's so much negativity out there, and it's easy to get caught
you gotta stay positive.
So you gotta work on
and be outside, get some fresh air, get some exercise,
the
right?
other thing that's happened though this year, besides that, the election brought a lot of stress to a lot of people. So hopefully that's by us.
Seems like everything was getting politicized.
But we do have to work on it. You really have to think it over and be positive.
And don't let people suck you into a negative space because they're hurting.
It's easy.
And they're frustrated and they whatever. We don't know what they're grappling with, but a lot of people who are miserable, they're antagonistic and they will attack you with, and that's really, whether it's conscious or subconscious, that's really what their goal is to pull you in with them or to get you to react negatively. That makes them feel alive, you know what I mean?
Makes them feel more comfortable.
But don't, challenge that. Challenge yourself and challenge them. Like, hey, you seem like you're in a bad space. I'm going to leave this alone, and I hope you have a good day or whatever. And that's hard. That's harder. Trust me, I know. Because I deal with antagonistic
you get
all the time.
antagonized.
I got it in me to, attack back. I want to...
You get antagonized all the time.
I want to let them go, man.
Yeah.
But it's harder to have constraints, but you feel better. You feel better if you can rise above it.
We got to give a shout out.
Positive and keep that energy good. Like that car right there, man.
If you want to rise above it, you can do it.
You can, of course.
So anyway, I did want to mention about your podcast, your telecast last week with Steve Kim.
Oh, yeah,
Thompson Boxing.
You can hear it in my voice.
Shout out to Thompson Boxing.
I thought Steve was really good.
Oh yeah.
And Steve does well. Steve does well on the commentary.
Yeah, that was the last minute. And the interview he did with Thompson.
I still haven't heard the audio to that.
It was very good.
Yeah, I got to listen to it.
And I could see that he, that experience that he had at ESPN.
Yeah.
Helped him a lot. But he's always been really good, but he's really good. And you can tell he's gone to a different level. Yeah. And the whole thing was very good.
You're going to see Steve on some bigger broadcasts in 2021.
Yeah, Steve does well.
Yeah, you're going to see him.
And shout out to ESPN. They had the Tyson Fury Wilder rematch on last night.
It was interesting watching that on TV.
And Teofimo. We were there live.
Yep.
I remember seeing you up there. Yep. And that was...
We had lunch.
That was my first. That was my last, fight with fans before the coronavirus really took everything apart.
And still kind of pretty much the biggest event of 2021.
Yeah, and Teofimo with Lomachenko.
He was holding court with anybody who would talk to him. Like just like a man of the people, just walking around, no entourage, just him by himself.
It was good to see the replay on TV after seeing it live in the arena and all the energy, and then seeing it on TV.
And congratulations to Tyson Fury and Teofimo Lopez, Ring Magazine's 2020 Co-Fighters of the Year.
Oh, Co-Fighter of the Year. Okay, got it.
Yep,
nice. Okay, congrats to them.
But man, watching that fight again, Wilder was done after the third round. It was over.
He started. You could see he started fading.
You know what? Every day I was there, I felt better about picking Fury.
Yeah.
And after having lunch with Tom and our special guest at that lunch told us some things, I was like, Fury's got it. And then I'm in line just trying to get a bottle of water. And I never got that bottle of water because the line was moving so slow and it was so cramped. They had on the monitors, they were showing, the undercard fights, but then they were showing scenes from the dressing rooms of each fighter.
Yeah.
Fury's nice and relaxed, just kind of just hanging out. And Wilder is this stiff, and he's just pacing back and forth, just like.
There was one thing on the commentary which I didn't understand. They said something
He
about
was too jacked up. He was all in his head.
He was, yeah.
And now he's even more into his head. Never before.
I give Mark Breland a lot of credit on that because I really thought Deontay was going down.
He had nothing to defend himself.
On there, so you gotta kind of live for another day. But
that's right.
I know.
If you can't defend yourself, it's no longer sport.
I know they that created the split between the two of them. So
you know what? It's probably for the best for Breland. That had to be a frustrating situation.
I don't know.
Were you trying to train a guy and you can't tell him nothing? What's the point of being somebody's teacher?
Deontay,
they got it all with their right hand.
I just wish Wilder had quit rather than get fired. Remember,
you mean Breland? Yeah, Breland should.
Breland. Breland should have told them to jamming up their ass.
That should have been a headline.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
Boxing scene headline.
Deontay.
Hey, jamming up your ass.
Deontay sparred with Vladimir a number of times. Vladimir said he can punch very hard.
Yeah.
Just it seems like Tyson Fury has his number now. But we'll see what happens if there's that trilogy next year, or if Fury fights AJ, or should be good. So heading off from Virginia Park with this is the official Triple G 21 title defense shirt. Shout out to Jamil.
Show the back. Look at that, like a concert series. Yeah. Yeah, Triple G. That's the band.
Triple G Promotions.
Three guys with the last name G.
Yeah, so Triple G Promotions designed that. Shout out. And we'll see you guys. Happy New Year.
See you in the new year.
Happy holidays. See you in the new year.